Live from the Las Vegas Traders Expo, I'm Dan Gramza, and I'm here with Victor Jones. Victor, I got a couple of questions for you. First, tell us what you're doing here at the Las Vegas Traders Expo. What are some of the things that you're sharing with people?
Definitely. First, let me say it's a pleasure to be here, especially with you. So what we've been talking about both today and yesterday, everything that we've been talking about in our talks has been risk-based. I think lots of people hear this concept of make sure you trade within your own risk parameters or know your risk tolerance. But the truth is, when you actually sit down and you talk to people, is like they want to do that, but they don't really know the tools to do some of those things or connect the idea of risk to an instrument. So very simple concepts like beta, how to understand what the beta of an underlying stock is and how that's a true quantifiable measurement of the risk of an individual instrument relative to the overall market. Let's talk about correlation and how you can utilize that when trading one instrument versus another. Let's talk about PE ratio. Don't just understand the price of a stock, know the value of it as well to help you in your stock selection journey. So everything we've been talking about is, let's explain the landscape, but let's give people the tools to make selections, to make quantifiable selections below the surface as well.
Well, and those elements keep you from creating a bias in your portfolio that you didn't realize you were creating or creating exposure unintentional.
That's exactly right.
That you get a little too heavy on one side and you think you're balanced, but you're not at all.
Yep.
But those tools you're talking about can help kind of sort that out a bit.
And what you just said is so important, especially to a new generation who are going to trade typically companies that they interact with on a daily basis. And what are those companies? Well, they're technology companies. They're the Facebooks of the world, the Netflix of the world, the Googles of the world. And then you sit back and you go, oh, all the companies I know and interact with are all technology companies. So it's hard to think about this idea of either highly correlated or non-correlated assets. So how do we have that conversation but do it in a way that's maybe not so academic and has a little bit more real world practical application?
That makes a lot of sense. And again, the parameters that you're picking are something that would be easy to understand once you understand them, and easy to compare so you can get a feel for how you're creating something. So then is the intent to provide those tools to help someone interpret what they want to create in their portfolio? Would that be...
Absolutely.
Right?
I would say it's both quantitative with some of the measures and terms we just talked about, but it's qualitative as well, right? So it's like, if you're into cannabis, for example, it's one of the buzzwords out here.
Right.
Okay, let's talk about the market size, right? Let's talk about how $8 billion was spent in 2017 on the product, which is more than people were spending on their Netflix subscriptions. And let's talk about what that market size is expected to grow to over the next couple of years, around 30 billion, which is more than people spend at McDonald's on burgers and fries. So it's all about connecting both statistics and risk, but then also real stories that connect to people in their personal interests and passions.
Well, then I got a question for you, because I think this is very interesting, Victor, and I wish you much success with this.
Thank you very much.
Also, if somebody wants to find out more, they want to understand these issues that you're raising, how do they go about doing that?
The easiest thing to do is just visit us at doe.com. But we are available in both the iOS store as well as the Google Play Store, so you can download us right onto your mobile device, regardless if you have an Apple phone or if you have an Android. The last thing you can do is subscribe to our podcast. Every Tuesday and Thursday, we put out a little bit longer form content, so you can subscribe to us on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, or on Google Podcasts as well.
Well, those are a lot of choices.
That's right.
That's terrific. Thank you, Victor.
Thank you, Dan.
And thank you for watching. Live from Las Vegas Traders Expo, I'm Dan Gramza.